Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vedanta Pramanam. Veda is the valid means of knowledge. And in which field of knowledge? Atindriya Vishaye Vedanta Pramana. Veda is the valid means of knowledge for the areas which are not in the scope of the senses or the mind and intellect. So that which is beyond the senses and mind intellect, there the valid means of knowledge is Veda. We have discussed this in the introductory talks. And this Veda, one type of editing compilation that Sri Vedavyasa did is in the form of the 4 texts that are popularly known as Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. There are also other classifications of all the Veda mantras. So the major chunk of the Vedic mantras which talk about the do's and don'ts, how to do things, what to do, what not to do, all these things are given guidelines for these things is called as Karma Kanda, which when followed increases the purity of mind of the seeker. Another portion of Veda which is guiding on various types of meditation, contemplations and worships. It is called Upasana Kanda, which in other terms is also called as Bhakti. And this is needed for single pointedness of mind to increase that, and also of course already gained the purity of mind also is deepened. So for Chitta Shuddhi, that is purity of mind, and Chitta Ekagrata, that is single pointedness of mind. So through Karma Kanda and the second portion called Upasana Kanda, the mind is purified and is made single pointed. And then comes Jnana Kanda, or the knowledge that is imparted to make us understand that what we are thinking of ourselves to be as this body, mind or intellect, that I am not, I am beyond all these instruments, I am the pure self. And this knowledge is what is my true identity. To gain abidance in that identity, this Jnana Kanda helps me. This Jnana Kanda only is in other terms called as Vedanta or Upanishad. These are the terms used for Jnana Kanda. This we have already seen. Now, this Veda also, the mantras can be divided into another way of classification, and that is some part of the Veda, some mantras, they are for the they are as the hymns to the gods. worship and hymns, praises of the God, stuti. So those kind of, that portion of the Veda is called Samhita. It is also called as mantra. So the portion of Veda which is um, talking about the greatness of the Lord, they are hymns sung in the praise of the God. So that kind of mantras are called Samhita portion of the Veda. They are also called as mantra portion. And these are there in all the four texts, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda. In all that there is a Samhita or mantra portion. Then there are certain chunks of mantras which are also guiding on what we call as Karma Kanda in the previous one, of good conduct, do's and don'ts in life, and that second part is called Brahmana portion. So that is also guideline. So one guideline is where you are connected to the Lord and you are given an indication of how great that Lord is. On the second portion where good conduct, secret of action, so that is Brahmana. Then there is also a portion called Aranyaka. Aranyaka is a part of the Veda, the mantras, where different upasanas are given. So Aranyakas can be compared to Upasana Kanda also. And the fourth part is called Upanishad or Jnana Kanda. So these are another way of dividing. And this division is to be understood in the sense that Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad are not parts in a chronological order, in a sequence, in, like, let us say I take up the study of Rig Veda, and Rig Veda is a huge book, and then in that book first few pages Samhita, then few pages Brahmana, then few pages Aranyaka, last few pages Upanishad. It is not that way. The conversations between the Guru and Shishya, which are recorded in various ways in different texts, these conversations were essentially according to the caliber of the students. When the students, fit students, qualified students approached, and according to their level of understanding, maturity, etc., then those students were educated, guided based on their need. So this education, when a student was, let us say, introduced to the greatness of the Lord and the various hymns in the Samhita portion, there is a possibility, listening to all that, inspired by that, the student suddenly feels that urge to gain knowledge. And when that urge comes while studying Samhita itself, the Guru recognizes that and imparts the knowledge of the self, the highest knowledge. And so, in the Samhita portion itself, we can find Upanishads. Same way, where there is a conversation happening on good conduct of the actions and its results, etc., the Brahmana discussion is happening. Brahmana is not the caste that we are talking about. Brahmana is a portion of the Vedas here. So this portion of the Vedas where the guidance is given on good conduct, and there some student suddenly feels the urge, feels enough detachment towards all this action and result, etc. I don't want to get into it. I want to know who I am. Am I the one who has to constantly follow these instructions and just be in this cycle of transmigration, or can I get out of it? So these kind of genuine questions arise in the student's heart, then immediately the Guru imparts. So there are Brahmana Upanishads also. And similarly, even in the Aranyaka portion, while talking about the various upasanas, etc., there also there is a possibility that a student gets that required dispassion, detachment, and inquires about this truth and the knowledge is imparted. So there is Upanishad in Samhita also, there is Upanishad in Brahmana also, there is Upanishad in Aranyaka also. So, but ultimately when a student goes through all this education and finally reaches Upanishad, after study of Upanishad, the student doesn't need to study anything else. That is the end. And that is why Upanishad is also called Vedanta. Veda, Anta. Anta means end. End does not mean last chronologically. End means after that nothing else needs to be known. This is the ultimate knowledge. And this is where Veda intends to take us, lead us to. So once we have reached there, once we have gained this knowledge, we have internalized this, after that there is nothing more to be known. And that's what is declared by the Veda also. So this Vedanta or Upanishad is Pramanam, is the ultimate valid means of knowledge for knowing the self, for knowing my own true identity. And for that, study of Upanishad becomes inevitable. Now, the Upanishad that we are taking up is called Mundaka Upanishad, and this Mundaka Upanishad or Mundako Upanishad is a part of Atharva Veda. It is an Atharva Vediya Upanishad, and every Upanishad, the name itself suggests something. Some places the first word of the Upanishad itself is the name, like Ishavasya Upanishad, Keno Upanishad. So first word of the first mantra, that becomes the name of the Upanishad. It is known by that name. So some Upanishads are such. Some Upanishads are related to the what is happening there. So there is a dialogue between disciples and the Guru, and there are lots of questions asked, and then those questions are answered. So then there are so many questions are asked. Okay, this Upanishad is called Prashna Upanishad. So there are some they are named that way also. There are sometimes some places the Upanishad which is also related to the Rishi who actually was in tune with the totality and actually got the knowledge of this Upanishad revealed to him. So that Mantra Drashta Rishi, the one to whom this knowledge was revealed, their names are also there in some of the Upanishads names, like Aitareya Upanishad. So it was a Rishi's name. So there are names of Upanishads in different ways. Now this Upanishad is called Mundaka Upanishad. Now what is Mundaka? Mundaka means head, Shiras, Mundaka. So Mundaka Upanishad, so head Upanishad. Upanishad means knowledge. Now head knowledge. What is head knowledge? Means the greatest knowledge. Now Upanishad, the word Upanishad itself, in various places it has been explained, is made up of three parts. Upa, Ni and Sat. Sat becomes Shad. So that is why Sad becomes Shad because of the rules of grammar. So Upa, Ni, Sad. So Upa means going close, staying near, Upa. Ni word means Nishchayena, with conviction. And Sat, some meanings they say that Sat is to sit at the feet of the Guru, to go close to the Guru and with complete conviction sit at the feet of the Guru, that I shall gain this knowledge from this great master. That is one meaning. Sad word also, the root sad in Sanskrit, also has meanings like loosening. Sad. Loosening means what? What does it loosen? It loosens the bondage that we are tied in, the bondage of ignorance. So when we go to the Guru with complete conviction that this master will teach me and I will be able to learn, and then when I sit at his feet, as a result of gaining this knowledge, all my bondage, my ignorance is loosened. The grip of that ignorance is loosened. That is one meaning. Other meaning of this Sat is to destroy. So it completely uproots the ignorance. So there is no trace of ignorance left. That is why it is that nothing else needs to be known after this. So that is another meaning. And the third meaning is gati. Sad means gati, movement. So what does this mean, Upanishad? So in terms of movement, what is it? Gati, movement means either one meaning is we move from being ignorant to being knowledgeable, or it will forever stop the gati. Means we will not keep transmigrating. The transmigration will get over. No more gati. So that is the nishchaya. Here, another very beautiful Upanishad in this nishchaya means conviction. So the Shishya is convinced that I will be able to study this and this master is going to enlighten me. So there is no doubt, there is no trace of any doubt whether this, so complete Shraddha, complete faith is there. So we have talked about this fourfold qualification, Vivek, Vairagya, Shamadhi, Sampatti and Mumukshutva. So we have talked about this. So Shraddha, faith is totally there. With that conviction, the student is sitting that this master shall enlighten me and I shall gain this knowledge. This is one. But the Nishchaya, this firm conviction is there from the Guru's side also. This is something very beautiful. So from the Guru's side, Upa means the Guru is the closest to the self. To say close is also distant, because the Guru has realized that I am the self. So Upa, very close. And when that Guru is abiding in the self, which means he is more the closest to the Shishya also. Because nobody can be closer than one who is a self-realized one. So Upa. Nishchaya means once the knowledge is imparted by the Guru to the Shishya, he is convinced, totally determined that there is nothing more to be taught. And there is nothing more for you to gain. Such declaration nobody else in no other field of knowledge can make. Otherwise it will be called as arrogance. This is the only field of knowledge where the Guru can declare, that's it, nothing more. Wherever you go to any university, you go to any other Guru, you go to any mountain, any cave, anywhere, you are not going to get anything beyond this. This is the highest and there is nothing beyond it. This kind of nishchaya, this kind of conviction, the Guru also has. And this is the knowledge that will liberate you. So there is no doubt, because Guru is experiencing it. So this Mundaka Upanishad. Now Upanishad, if we know that it is a supreme knowledge that destroys our ignorance, loosens all our bondages and saves us from any kind of transmigration, and that is gained by going close to the Guru, sitting at his feet with a firm conviction to gain this knowledge and get enlightened by this master. When this happens, what is the highest teaching that it could offer? What is the highest, what is the greatest that it can offer? So it is said that greatest teaching is that I, the self, who am beyond the body, mind, intellect, all these instruments, am also the substratum of this entire universe. So, the very substratum of the universe and the illuminator of the universe, or the experiencer of the universe, the illuminator and the substratum both are one and the same. The substratum usually is referred to using the word Brahman, and the illuminator is generally referred to by the word Atma or Sakshi, witness. So, this Brahman and Atman are one and the same. This is the highest teaching. First of all, taking me or my attention or my identity away from all these instruments that I am not. Like, I am not this body, I am not these senses, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not this ego. This kind of taking it away and getting established in who I really am, that itself is one journey. And intellectually, we can still appreciate this part that okay, I can agree, because I sometimes witness my own thoughts, and when I witness my own thoughts, I find that yes, these thoughts are not me because they are different from me. I am witnessing them. And sometimes the thoughts are agitated, sometimes they are peaceful, sometimes there is understanding, sometimes there is misunderstanding, sometimes there is no understanding, and all these things also I am aware of. So when I am aware of all these things, I am witnessing all these things, then I have to be other than something different from all these things. So I can be the illuminator, the sakshi of all these things. I can be the witness. That much still intellectually we can agree. But if we go one step forward and say this entire universe, the substratum of this universe, that you are. So how can that be? Self-illumining one set of body, senses, mind, intellect is still okay. But how can I be the substratum of this whole universe? How can I be the witness to everybody's thoughts? Because we are still conditioned by everybody. So till the time we consider there is somebody else, till such time it is very difficult to digest this knowledge that this substratum of the universe, Brahman, is the same as the Atman, the self, and that is me. This statement establishing the oneness of Brahman and Atman is called in the Upanishad as Mahavakya, or the great statements. So great statements is not because of the greatness of the Rishi who has spoken it. Great is not because how it sounds. Great is because it is the supreme knowledge. There is nothing beyond it. Once I have known I am the witness and I am the support of this entire universe, after that, is there something to be known? Is there something to be learnt? Is there something to ponder upon? Is there something to gain? This is the highest that anybody can get at any time, any place, from anywhere. This is the highest, the supreme. And this supreme knowledge, here, Mundaka, head is supposed to be the most important part. It has all vital organs, everything in the body, and the hands, legs, everything protect the head only first. Even if you are falling, I don't mind getting my hand fractured, but I have to protect my head. Even if we are riding a two-wheeler or something, we are asked to wear a helmet. Why rest of the body you are not worried about? Important. So it is given most importance, means the most important, Mundaka, the highest So Upanishad itself is the highest knowledge. In that also highest. So that kind of name is given to this. So we'll discover the declaration that comes. And there are so many beautiful mantras. Some of them we may have heard also, but we may not have known that, oh, it is here in this Upanishad. Oh, okay, okay. So beautiful Upanishad. And here we find a very different type of flow of thought. Each Upanishad has a unique flavor, and Mundakopanishad is not an exception to that. Here, the unique flavor we will get as we keep proceeding. So, we will see when we keep going to the mantras. Now, to begin with, Puja Gurudev very beautifully explains every Upanishad begins with an invocation. It is called Shanti Path. Shanti Path, essentially every Veda has a few Shanti mantras. What is a Shanti mantra? Any mantra where at the end it is followed by Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti is a Shanti mantra. So all Vedas have different Shanti mantras, and the Guru and the Shishya, the teacher and the taught, used to chant this mantra together before commencing their study. So based on which text, which Veda it is, that particular Shanti mantra was chanted, and together, all the students and teacher, everyone together used to chant the Shanti mantra together and invoke the grace and blessings of the Almighty and commence their studies. Now this invocation, what is this invocation? What is this prayer? I don't think anybody in the world has ever explained this better than Puja Gurudev. And it is there in the commentary of Mundakopanishad. We must read that, the portion of the Shanti Mantra explanation is beautiful. He is given an example of a police constable. At home, this police constable is persecuted by his wife, is troubled by his son, and he is very, very troubled. He is very, and at some time he gets up suddenly because it's time now, and he goes, wears his uniform of a police constable, and very beautifully he takes his khaki shorts and his red turban, because those days that was the uniform, and a lathi in his hand, and he walks out. And when he walks out of the home, he is not that henpecked husband. He is not that persecuted father. Now he is a terror for all the criminals and the mischief mongers in the neighborhood. Nobody dare do anything wrong when he is around. So this power, where did it come from? If we say that power was in the uniform, then when it is hanging there, that also should have the power. So you just hang the uniform outside on different places on the roads, there will be no crime. But that power is not in the uniform. Okay, is it in that man? It doesn't seem so. Because if it was there, he should be the same at home. But he is terrorized. He is not a terror at home. He is the one who is scared. Oh, my son will come. I don't know what he will topple, what he will hit. So he is all the time at home, he is afraid. But when he goes out, when he wears his uniform and goes out. So what has happened? What is the difference? Puja Gurudev explains that when he wears that uniform, he invokes that police constable and the power associated with that role within himself. And when that is invoked, then that power seems to work everywhere. So it is already inherent in him. And what kind of power? That power associated with that role. Because I am an arm of the authority of the government. So when I am an arm, then I get that I am connected. Now this was that time's example which was so beautifully brought out. Now modern day, if you want a similar example. So we all are, certain things are very good that we get very nice examples to understand these concepts. We all are familiar with internet. You know, we have one phone or any gadget, one computer. So now that one machine that I have, in that machine, whatever knowledge is stored is limited because the space in that machine is limited. Whatever it may be, 10 TB, 100 TB also, but it is limited. Beyond that, you cannot store. So whatever capacity is there locally on the machine, that much information can be stored, and that's all it can be used. But the moment it is connected to the internet, what happens? There is infinite information available in that same gadget. And that connection is called invocation or prayer. So when I am connected to that, automatically what happens is, everything is available to me. So that way, all that is already there. All the power, all the strength, everything is already there. But to be able to make it available for ourselves, we need to get connected. And that getting connected is a prayer or an invocation. So here, this Shanti part is obviously the Atharva Veda Shanti part. And it is a very, very beautiful Shanti part. We will first chant that, and after that we will think about it. The Shanti part today will have lead and follow, but tomorrow onwards, in the beginning itself with the other prayers, we will chant this Shanti part before the class, all of us together. ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति this Shanti Mantra of the Atharva Veda is in first person plural. First person plural means we all. So the prayer or invocation is happening in the language of we all want this. So what are we praying for? So it is like all of us disciples. And the Guru also joined. So the Guru and all of us disciples, all of us want this to happen. So this kind of prayer. Okay, what is a prayer? The very first thing that we are asking here is, the Rishi is asking on behalf of us, Karne bhi, by our ears, Bhadram, auspicious, may we listen. Shrunuyama. May we listen to what is auspicious through our ears. First prayer. Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama. And who is it addressed to? Devaha. Oh gods. Devaha. Now when such mantras are read, immediately there are people who will say that, look, these Indians, this in the Indian culture, all these rishis, etc., they all these Hindus, they have many gods. That is why Devaha, plural. So Devaha means the luminous ones, the effulgent ones, the brilliant ones. And why plural? If you have to pray to one God, why so many? The point is, if we say God and God is all powerful, if we agree, then why can't God manifest in different forms? Is it not possible? So, God is not many, but God can manifest in various forms. And we are addressing all the forms. Because it is not one form that will fulfill my need. Maybe I need different forms. For example, we all have different utensils in the kitchen. All the utensils are made of, let us say, stainless steel. So, essential material is the same. And they are all called utensils also. But each one of them has a size, shape, and utility. And they may have names also. So a bowl and a spoon are two different things. I cannot say this one only, so I will not refer to it in plural. It has to be different. So the purpose fulfilled by a spoon cannot be fulfilled by a bowl or a plate. And the purpose fulfilled by a bowl or a plate cannot be fulfilled by a spoon. So the manifestation can be many, the material remaining the same. And for my need, according to my need, I invoke that particular manifestation. Sometimes some people have this habit of not getting the name at the right time. Get that steel thing. No, get that steel thing. What that steel thing? Everything is steel in this cupboard. What should I get? I get that steel thing. Then we don't know what to say. But what that person is meaning is something specific. But that specific, now if I bring, okay, here, teaspoon. I want to, take out the soup. The spoon is there, no? That thing is there, no, that you bring. Then, bowl you want. Yes, that one. Bring. I don't know. But I'm saying, okay, everything. So, Devaha. So all the different potential that is available in all these various manifestations in nature is all the Lord only. So there is no difference. So Devaha. Puja Gurudev explains this as also when there is a government, there is a leader. But that leader, whether it is a prime minister or president based on the type of government, whoever may be the leader, that leader cannot work just single-handedly. They have an entire cabinet of ministers and different portfolios are given to different ministers. But those ministers are working as the government. So they are that leader only manifested in the local office as this particular authority who has the power to do certain things. So, but that where is that power coming from? From the leadership, from the entire government. So, in this way, these devatas are all different types of devatas are all in charge of various portfolios. So they have their powers. And to those devatas, and in the Vedic period, it was these different powers of the nature, elements of the nature were people could recognize that brilliance of the Lord in them. Later on period, that recognition could not take place and therefore we needed specific forms. So in the Puranic period, in the Itihasa period, we needed specific forms like Sri Rama, Sri Krishna. These are all later on forms. In the Vedic period, all the forces of nature, they could see the Lord manifest in that. So they could see that if the wind, there is a breeze, they could see, the rishis could see, oh, this is the Lord's power manifesting in form of this breeze. The sun is there, it is illumining everything. They could see it as the manifestation of the Lord. That is why there are so many mantras taking all these things not just as example but also connecting to those and saying there you can recognize that Brahman. So Devaha, another understanding from the Sanskrit grammar point of view is that whenever we have to use, and this is there in many of our other languages also it is there, that whenever we have to address somebody with respect, we use plural. So singular is not used for somebody who is addressed with respect. So Sanskrit, there are various ways, they say that, when somebody has to be referred to or addressed with great respect, so it is, plural is used. Te agachanti, guravaha agachanti, means gurus are coming. I was told only one is coming. How many are coming? Means guravaha agachanti means we are saying out of respect. Actually, one only person is coming. So it is an expression. Even in Hindi, there is an expression. आप आएंगे. So आप is actually plural. आप, it can be used for plural also. But that same thing is used for a person with respect. So Devaha, so with all reverence we are addressing. So Bho Devaha, oh Lords, what is it? Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunayama. May I listen to what is auspicious. May we listen to what is auspicious through our ears. Now we have ears. Yes. We are listening. Yes. But what are we listening? So we say, Bhagavan, please, may we listen to what is auspicious. Why? Because whatever is the input, that only gets processed and that only will be, there will be output also. So whatever goes in is very important. Based on that only, any course of action is possible. There's this famous folk tale. There were a group of frogs who decided to climb a hill. For frogs to climb a hill is difficult. They have to keep on hopping slowly, and climbing a hill, top of the hill. So they all decided early in the morning we will start. So before it becomes very warm, we can reach the top and then we'll come back. And coming back is easy, but we have to climb up. Okay, they all decided a time, all of them assembled at the foothill, and then they started. When they started, the other animals and all around, they came to know that there is these frogs have got into this some crazy idea of climbing the mountain. So they all gathered there. This is how the society works. So they all gathered there. You frogs, tiny frogs, there is no frog has ever gone up on that hill. It is impossible for you to go. And even if you reach there, you will die. What are you going to do? It is not possible. You cannot reach. Halfway itself, you will die. It will get so hot now in no time. And forget about the heat. You don't have the strength to go all the way. It is not possible. This was the so-called cheering. That all the other animals kept on saying. Now these frogs are jumping, already tired. It was a tiring journey. And then they heard this. One frog felt, I think they are right. Let me stop. Returned. Other frog, oh yeah, nobody has gone so far. Then why this idea came to us? Who gave this idea? It was not me, certainly. Somebody else has given this idea. It was a foolish idea. No, stop. Stop. Another frog said, okay, let me stop and see if somebody reaches. Then I will decide whether to go or not. Everyone except one frog stopped. Many of them returned also. One frog kept moving, and that people, the other animals kept on shouting, not what is this, you're mad, go, don't go, don't go, don't go. And he reached there on the top. Now once somebody reaches there, the whole crowd again changes the mood. All the media came there with cameras and mics. Interview. How did you make it possible? All the frogs were all, no, they felt defeated. They just gave up and they went back. And how did you make it? What is the secret of this? You are a great hero, and so many things. And this frog was just blissfully unaware of what was happening with all these people behind. He was just looking at the whole view from the top. And that's when these people realized he was deaf. Om Bhadrang Karnebhi Shrunuyama Deva. So sometimes we feel that it is better to be deaf rather than listening to what is happening around us. So, first prayer, may we be able to listen what is auspicious. Bhadram. Now, when such a prayer is there, may I listen to what is auspicious, which means, what do I listen the most? What I speak. That is the first thing I listen to. So automatically, along with this prayer, there is a hidden prayer, may I speak what is auspicious. Because I cannot expect to listen to what is auspicious without speaking what is auspicious. Because what I speak is what I listen first. What others speak, I may listen also, that is fine. But what I speak, I can listen. So, Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunayama Devaha means, may I speak auspicious and may I listen to what is auspicious. Often we say that no, close your ears, don't listen, everything is bad. It is not possible that everything is bad. But what I listen to, that if it is auspicious. And we always use filters in our experiences. These filters are often of likes and dislikes. I like something, then all filters is everything is good. And if I don't like something, I'll make sure there will be some or the other shortcomings. I will find that out. It's filtered. So what I like, what I don't like, that is what primarily serves as a filter for my perceptions. Here, the filter is of auspiciousness. If it is auspicious. Now, what is auspiciousness? That which takes me towards my own self. Because here we are on a spiritual path, a journey to the self. So that which helps me progress on this path, we call it as auspicious. And that which takes me away from my own self is called inauspicious. So that is why whenever we hear something that inspires me, that energizes me, empowers me, makes me more hopeful, makes me positive, makes me calm, peaceful, happy. Such things are all generally classified as auspicious. So may I listen to all this, and may my speech also be like that. I have to speak in such a way that calms me down, that maintains my peace, that helps me grow, that helps me progress on my spiritual path, that takes me towards my own self. So my speech also, so here it is not just, oh Lord, give me all good company and people should speak good things so that I listen to. And what will you speak? So there is not just a prayer, but also taking responsibility also. It is very important. That prayer cannot be just, you give me, I won't do anything. Here there is taking up responsibility and praying that may I be able to fulfill that responsibility also. May I be able to speak auspicious and thereby listen to auspiciousness. And when I speak auspicious, people around me also will respond. So even if it is, let us say, a disagreement, if somebody is peacefully talking, then the other person doesn't have to raise the voice. It can be discussed peacefully. So when I can now say, no, people, they don't respond like that, they don't get influenced. They just say whatever they want to say. Yes, they have said, but my speech has calmed me down, right? That much effect I have had. The other person, whether they have listened to what I have said or not, I must listen, and if I listen, I have calmed myself down. And when I have calmed myself down, half the battle is won. So then I can cheerfully agree to disagree. That's also, I don't have to agree upon everything, but it is possible. And when that happens, then even then that is not an obstacle towards our spiritual growth. Everything need not be in agreement. It's okay, understandable. Everyone has different opinions and everyone has right to their own opinion. That's okay. But why should we be agitated? Why should we bring in that inauspicious part? We can deal with it in an auspicious manner. So it is taking responsibility for oneself, and also being a good influence on people around. Only then listening to auspiciousness is possible. Otherwise, it's not possible. Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama devaha. And listening is most important. Without listening, it is no progress in any direction is possible. In the school, as a student, we sit in the class, we must listen. Okay, teacher doesn't have to listen. Teacher also has to listen. Only then the teacher gets feedback. The teacher also has to listen. You see, classic example, Bhagavad Gita. See, when one person is speaking, the other is listening patiently. Even if that person doesn't make any sense. Dronacharya, knowledgeable person. Duryodhana was expressing his, fears, etc. Listened. He was not indifferent. He did not say, "I'm not going to listen to you" or anything. Listen. Listening. And listening right. These days, before the person speaks, we have already assumed what that person is going to speak and we have started responding. And the person will at least listen to me first, let me finish. I am not saying what you are thinking. Wait, listen. So, this art of listening. May we listen. And if we look at even spiritual paths, we see path of knowledge. The first means to knowledge is Shravanam. Listen. Path of devotion, the first step of devotion also is Shravanam. Even for Karma Yoga, if we want to perform any action, we have to first know what is to be done, how it is to be done, when it is to be done, who can do it, whether I am supposed to do it, and if I do it, when, how, all these things, I have to listen. If I am teaching, I have to listen. Listen means sometimes literally and sometimes figuratively, I have to listen. Whether somebody, when I am talking, when I am communicating, I have to listen. That's why in theory and all, there are courses on communication and all. In theory, we study. It is taught communication has to be, there is a transmission and then there is a feedback. And when it comes back to the transmitter, only then it is called complete communication. If it is one way, it is not called as communication. It is only transmission. These all we have learned theoretically. But when we have to get the feedback, that feedback is what? Listening. I have to listen. Every step, everywhere, I have to listen. Even if somebody calls me, I have to listen to be able to respond. So listening is a very, very important trait, and somehow dealing with gadgets, we have lost that ability to listen, that patience to listen. Because what happens is gadgets, they are inert things. So something is playing and then I just get tired, I just turn it off. No, I am looking for that button when people are standing around me. Where is that off button? I am not able to see. Mute button, I am not able to see. So, this impatience sometimes, Guruji, this funny thing Guruji says with respect to listening only. One man was running and the other following him. So somehow the one who was running, he escaped. The one who was following, he got tired and he stopped. So somebody asked, "What is this? Is a thief or something? He has stolen something and all. Should we help? What is this?" He said, "No, no, no. He is not a thief. He is a good friend of mine." So, good friend of mine, why are you chasing him like that? He said, "We both had a pact. We agreed upon one thing, that he will first tell all his story, all his sorrows. For 2 hours, I listened to him. And now when it was my turn to speak, he ran away." So listening is very difficult. It is very difficult. But we have to just remember our great acharyas, great gurus. including Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself. If he had the patience to listen, why can't we? When anybody would go with some petty problems to Gurudev, from his stature, small little thing, go and speak complete attention and full. He is 100% with us. Even if it is for 30 seconds, that 30 seconds is like a lifetime for us. He listened, he completely gave full attention. That we have to. If such great masters exhibit this great quality, this is an Upanishadic quality that we need to develop in our own selves. So this we'll think a little more, talk about the Shanti Mantra tomorrow. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ